Welcome to week 8 of organizational behavior. This is the spring 2013, no, 2014, spring 2014 quarter. I'm your online instructor, Diana Block, and this is the week that our first paper is due. This is our movie analysis paper. And I've discussed this several times in several different videos throughout the quarter. So everybody should be very familiar with this now, have already rented or acquired one of the movies or made a decision what they're going to write about. So this week I'm just going to give you some last minute reminders about that assignment. The only thing you have to do this week is the paper and the discussion. There's no quiz or anything this week. So you just have the discussion and then the movie analysis paper. So I want to remind you to follow all the paper instructions. And here are the paper instructions. Let me grab this for just a few minutes. So watch one of these movies. We got that. Write a 3 to 4 page paper or prepare a PowerPoint presentation with a minimum of 15 slides. Now, 3 to 4 pages means 3 full pages or as much as 4 full pages. If your paper is 2 pages and then 1 line or a paragraph or a half of another page, that is not 3 pages. That we've covered 12 chapters of this book. There's more than enough material to fill 3 full pages. So if you don't have 3 full pages of content, you are going to find points deducted from your assignment. 2.5 pages does not count as 3 pages. 3 full pages is the minimum required. If you choose to do a PowerPoint, the minimum is 15 slides of content. If you have an introductory page, pages that are just placeholders that have section titles in it, and that's it. If you have pages that just have a picture on it, those will not be counted as part of your 15 slides. You need to have 15 slides with information on it about your paper topic. So those are the minimum requirements. You can go over that. There's no deduction if you go over that, but the very minimum required is 3 full pages. Again, not including any introductory page. If you have a cover page, that will not be included as your 3 to 4 pages. You need 3 full pages of content on your topic. You need a minimum of 15 slides on your topic. Content only. Cover pages, placeholder pages, picture pages do not count as content. So it doesn't matter to me which one you choose, whether you choose a PowerPoint or Word document paper. Either one of those will receive equal points. But if you choose to do the paper, it needs to be at least 3 full pages. If you want to do the PowerPoint, it needs to be 15 slides of content. No cover pages or blank pages or pictures are included to meet that minimum. Okay, so that's part of the instructions. And the other issue that I really want to point out is we're looking for in-depth explorations of the course concepts, specific references and applications of course terms. So when we say in-depth exploration, that means I want you to give me some information that demonstrates that you have taken this course and learned this course. Sometimes I see people will submit a paper and they will say, Mr. Smith is the CEO of the company and he has power. Okay? That anyone who watched the movie, whether or not they ever took this class, could see something like that. That somebody is in charge and they have power. You, as being a student in this class, need to give a lot more specific information about the power. What kind of power does he have? Where does he get his power? I'm looking for the power page here so I can give you some examples. Maybe that wasn't a great example because maybe we haven't gotten to power yet. We're looking at chapters 1 through 14. Oh yeah, we did. We studied power. That was in chapter 13. So you looked at that last week. So rather than just saying he has power, that's something that's obvious. You want to talk about what type of power he has. Like on page 349, does this leader have expert power, information power, coercive power, reward power? What is the power that they have? What are some of the power tactics that this person uses? We talk about formal versus informal power. Um, Specify that. So yeah, just saying, well, they have power. That's not going to qualify as an in-depth exploration of the topic. So yeah, just saying that this person in this movie was a good leader. That doesn't give me any information that tells me that you've done any studying in the class. If you're going to talk about a leader, you're going to have to tell me what type of leadership does he display. Is he a charismatic leader? Is he a structured leader? Um, what is his leadership style? Does he use theory X motivational techniques or does he use theory Y? What are some of the uh, roles and responsibilities this leader fulfills? Is he a transformational leader? So I'm looking for specifics, okay? Specific information that you have learned or read about or studied in this class beyond just someone is a leader. Are they a formal leader? Give me some specific information, in-depth information. Another topic that a lot of people use, but not well all the time, is motivation. Some people will say, uh, in the film, this person was not motivated. That's not enough. I need to know which motivators did they lack. Did they lack intrinsic motivators? Did they lack extrinsic motivators? Which of their needs in Maslow's hierarchy was not being met that caused their lack of motivation? What kind of rewards and punishment system does this office use to meet specific needs in Maslow's theory? Okay, specifics. Um, so that's that as far as in-depth explorations. And then I want specific references and application of course content, course terms and concepts. So I want you to apply course terms and concepts to what you see in the movie. So it's not like I just want you to give a list of terms that were in the textbook and just list them out. I want you to tell me why those particular terms or concepts apply to this movie. Here's an example. And this is a movie this is a scene that I'm just making up. It's not in any of the films that you're going to be watching. But you could say something like, even after he was given information that the product was faulty and the research demonstrated that it would not provide the effects promised, Bill wanted to continue producing the testers because so much money had already been spent on research. This is an example of escalation of commitment. So the course concept is escalation of commitment. And I described why escalation of commitment, or how escalation of commitment was demonstrated in this firm. An executive was presented with research that said the product doesn't work. He decided to go ahead producing it anyway. That is an example of escalation of commitment. Another example is Bob only told Mary about the potential money they could make. He did not mention all of the backlash that was already happening. Because, okay, that would be an example of framing. We read about framing in our communication chapter, where you present information in such a way as to get the response you want. So that would be explaining how framing applies to this movie. So you'll say Bob engaged in framing when he only gave Mary the information about the money they would make without discussing the drawbacks. That's an example of framing. Something like that. I'm just making this up, but things like that. Here's one more. Jeff is an equal team member, with everyone in the production department, yet everyone goes to him for advice, information, uh, and direction. This makes Jeff an emergent leader. An emergent leader, we learn from our text, has no formal power, but they are people listen to them anyway. So you can, if you don't remember, you can read what the emergent leader is, but this would be an example of explaining why someone is an emergent leader. So don't just say there were emergent leaders in this movie. Tell me why you're saying that. What happened in the movie to make you say that someone is an emergent leader? Okay, so I'm just trying to make up a couple of examples that don't apply to any of your, don't necessarily apply to any of the specific movies that you're going to watch, because I'm just wanting to get across to you that I want specifics, and I want you to explain why that term or that concept applies to this movie. That's what we're trying to do, trying to have you to demonstrate that you've read this material and you've understood this material, and you're able to identify these behaviors when you see them. So when you see these behaviors in these movies, you say, oh, that's an example of framing. That's an example of escalation of commitment. That's an example of an emergent leader. And then you can write about those items and explain them. So all of the movies that I've pre-selected are based on an organization. So there's lots of material. You'll just have to choose which you want to focus on to contain it to 3 to 4 full pages, because I can assure you there's plenty available. There's plenty of information from the first 14 chapters of this book that's in all of these films. So you don't have to worry that there's not enough there to write about. So if you have any questions, feel free to email or call me. And good luck with these papers. I look forward to talking to you in the discussion area this week.